I'm walking through the halls of E3 2016, and it's packed. Wall-to-wall people, absolute chaos. It's day one, 12:05 p.m. Doors had just opened. Every station was full. Everyone just clamoring for games. Picture Jingle All the Way.
Ravenous.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah, actually, when the doors open, it can get a little crazy.
So I got an appointment in 25 minutes. So I'm just looking for something nice and quick to kind of
quick hit,
kind of dive into. Looking for something, just any open station. So I look in front of me. I'm over in Sony. There's just people everywhere. Again, every station is filled. And I look over at the one open booth. And what is it? It's Yakuza 0.
Yeah!
No one playing it.
Disrespect.
A tear just comes from my eye.
No one was playing it.
No one is even looking at it. There was this one little attendant standing there just looking around.
Looking for a player.
Begging for someone. And I rush up. I'm like, it's okay. The Dragon of Dojima will rise.
Did you actually say that?
Like, what are you
I did. Of course I did.
Good man.
I don't make this up.
Well, I've known you for a long time.
So I started up. And you can choose Kazuma or Majima.
Oh!
Immediately I say, all right, maybe the dragon won't rise. I gotta be Majima here. So she's like, okay, all right. So I hop in, and it feels like home again. You're in Sawatobi, or however you pronounce it, okay? And I have just been waiting to tell you about this, Ben Moore, okay? So you're Majima, you dive in, you're on the bridge, and the thing about Yakuza is, you revisit these towns, and it always looks the same, so it has that nostalgic feeling. So I'm like on the bridge, immediately everything is recognizable, and like there's a quest guy in front of me, so I go up, I click on him, and Majima's like, the hell is this? This guy's like a statue. This is a statue? And it's the street performer, like looking like a mud statue man, and Majima is just super confused. And he like pokes it. And the street performer's like, hey man! Why are you poking me? So like you just get this conversation. It starts out really quirky and jolly, and then the street performer's like, my whole life I've wanted to be a street performer. This is my chance to prove to my son that I have what it takes. I'll be here, and I'm not gonna move. And Majima, just this epic conversation, just those moments in Yakuza.
This is the first conversation you get
this is
into in the
first conversation.
game.
Yeah, yes. So after that, I'm like, all right, see a little quest. Again, time is short. Okay, I got a meeting coming up. So I'm like, all right, I want to get in a fight. Let's go. Let's brawl. So I'm like looking in the back alleys, waiting for somebody to say, hey, you know how they do, and like charge at you. So I get in a fight. Now the fighting hasn't changed except for one crucial detail. When you beat people up, money flies out of them! Just cash raining on the screen. I picked up a briefcase and slammed this thug, and money just rained everywhere. So I've got my cash, I've done a quest, I've beat some thugs up. I'm like, I got all this cash now. What am I gonna do with this?
Gamble!
So I'm looking for a gambling spot, right? So I go into the nearest building. I think it's a gambling den. I'm like, all right, this is for Don.
Yeah.
It's not a gambling shop. It's a dance club. So I go in, I talk to the DJ. Enter this rhythm game. And let me tell you about this rhythm game. This rhythm game alone could be sold separately as an add-on game. It's that good. You have to.
Whoa!
Like, there's a huge grid. First, Majima 2 is like dancing. It's like really jolly jig.
Does he actually do the disco?
Yes.
Okay.
Disco lights everywhere. There's this grid and directional symbols. The PlayStation symbols will pop up on the grid with like the cursor going down, and then you have to press it at the right time. You have to move over to each symbol in the least amount of moves. So, like, the least amount of moves over to get the most points, and then you press it at the right time. So things are popping up everywhere, so you have to find the right path and push it at the same time. It was difficult.
How do you process that calculation while notes are
Exactly.
flying?
It was so good. Finished the disco, said thank you very much. That was Yakuza 0. It's fantastic. I'm like, I can't wait to talk about that. That was like the highlight.
Thank you very much, everybody. We're Easy Allies. Have a good time.
No, we're not done. We're so
Jones, do you want to get up here now?
so far from being done.
Blood's got a book open. Blood's hungry.
No,
Hubert.
dude.
Jones, you want to get there? Persona talks to me. All right, fine.
No one has ever talked about video games that well before.
Right? I'm intimidated, actually. I like.
That was amazing.
That was inspirational on YouTube. This is the most hype I've been in a long time.
Nobody was playing it.
It's like if that's what like an offhand kiosk visit from Huber is like what's
Exactly.
an appointment
Right,
like?
can you,
You know,
imagine,
like-
can you imagine when he plays Shenmue 3? Listen.
Cheers.
Money!
The money flying, dude.
Oh
I just
my
had the
God.
biggest smile on my face.
Huber, I'm gonna record that Yakuza 0 talk. That's how fucked up I am right now. The Yakuza 0 talk, I'm gonna put it on my phone, and every night before I go to bed, I'm gonna hit play. And put that underneath my pillow.
I would wake up to that.
Yeah.
I'd wake up to
We
that.
go back tomorrow and play as Kazuma.
Stay tuned for part 2!
Part 2 Kazuma.
Venmo.
Yeah.
Feed me.
The Yakuza story?
Yes.
Unfortunately, this isn't much about the game itself. It more pertains to a really embarrassing and funny event that happened.
Okay,
Or
this
I
is
think it's really
perfect.
embarrassing and
Excellent.
funny
Yes.
event that happened to me at E3.
Yes.
Feed me.
So I was behind closed doors in the Atlas booth, and the PR manager for Atlas, John Harron, was like, "Why don't you play Yakuza?" And I booted it up, and he knew I was familiar with Yakuza, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen your guys' streams. You like to do the funny, quirky stuff. Why don't you go over here?" And so he takes me. I'm Kazuma, and
Are massage streams? I've seen your streams before.
he just said I'd seen your streams.
They
I
know.
didn't prod. I didn't prod. And so I go, and it just says like, this is. I don't know if this is exactly what it was called, but it was like telephone booth or something like that. What? And all of a sudden, I go into the building, and Kazuma is sitting on a chair in the dark, and there's a spotlight on this table, on this phone. And this is the first part of the mini game, where you're just sitting there.
Oh no.
And all of a sudden, the phone rings, and you have to push a button right as the phone rings, and Kazuma will grab it, and it'll go, oh! And what it is it's the closest equivalent I could say to it in Western terms is like a phone sex line, where you are calling these women to talk dirty to them.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
What happens?
So the way that they represent it is you see this woman in a bikini, and they purposely don't show you her face for reasons that I'll get into in just a second.
Oh, no.
And the way that it works is you have to use the right analog stick, like a rotary phone. You have to like twirl it around and then release and shoot it at words. And you have to deduce what is the best thing to say to this woman to like get her interested in you. And if you say the wrong thing, she'll get upset, and this heart meter fills up when you say the right thing, and it decreases when you say the wrong thing. And 5 times in a row, I think John was like getting a little bit mad at me. I accidentally picked "Are you actually a dude?"
Sorry, you picked it 5 times in a row?
Yeah, so let me contextualize that a little bit because when you shoot the successful thing, you'll get you can tell the localization team had a really fun time with this. You'll get a bunch of phrases that'll rotate around in a circle, and you have to it's like a roulette wheel, and you have to stop it at just the right time to pick the right thing. And I'm playing this game, and I'm getting really embarrassed, and all of a sudden somebody else comes in for their appointment.
Oh gosh.
And they don't say anything. So I'm just sitting here trying to seduce this woman in this mini game. I'm just trying to like cover this game for my job. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And it was a female journalist as well. About like 5 awkward minutes goes by, and she says,
Did you know this person?
I knew of her, but I didn't we'd never actually met before.
That's the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about 5 minutes go by. She doesn't say anything. Like she just walks in and sits down, and then she like looks at me. She says, "What are you doing?" So yeah, that was my experience with Yakuza 0. That was the whole story.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.